Yeah, they are a very big contender, and like NGX is a big contender as well. Like they had their own shining moments there in Tour 1, and they still mean that in Tour 2, and they still maintain that level in Div 1 at the very least, but RSG is going to be pushing them to the limits, and you do have to respect that. Again, NGX had sort of the same story coming in from Div 2 and Tour 1, so they should know what it's like. They should know what it's like to be like an underdog, and you've got to put in that work. Still, lots of options still left here. I am interested in NGX's ban of Constant Chorus. PL probably the only hero that can really handle Terrorblade, and of course the Void Chrono is a big factor as well. Something that RSG loves to fall back to. So taking away some comfort and some counter matchup
there. It is.
Oh boy! All right.
2 days in a row, John. We get the Techies games coming out. I don't know. I mean, look, we've had experience with Techies. We saw this last night, Jonathan. I'm expecting some top-notch analysis from you because we have seen a game of Techies.
Yeah, and I wouldn't mind Techies 4 over Shadow Shaman here, but it just feels like Shadow Shaman 4 is a bigger sell. Techies on to 5 is still really aggressive. If you get a nice safe laner that has slow setup, Sticky Bomb comes on top, Blast Off comes on top, you still have a lot of damage to play with here, and a lot of presence in that lane. NGX for their part will just go Coddle Ember, so they've got their combination on hand. Slight Fist Spam will be in. You've got really good wave clear here. It's a very solid lineup from NGX. It is looking like our Weaver is going to be on the 5. Jocam could take the Keeper of the Light, but I can see them kind of switching things around, although Boomboy does love his Weaver from his time in Motivate Trust. The side of RSG now, I mean, I think this could be a good moment for them to just pick their mid. They know the Ember is there. I hate raising it up, but I just feel like when you do see the Ember, you could go for Bat Rider still. I mean, just give Alacrity some PTSD, because for sure that's something that harkens all the way back to what, Pro Series 8 or something, where that was a constant matchup issue for him. Could be how RSG goes it. I know Exilern does play that mid Bat Rider. We saw it before. So could be one way. Storm is still a viable option as well. Storm matchup versus Ember is not too bad. And you just have that backline jump to take care of the Coddle early if you want. You get magic damage to deal with the Terrorblade. It could also be another route for them to take here for RSG. I was going to say something crazy. I was going to say maybe you could run Techies mid. I'm like, no, you can't do that. You can't. I mean, you could try.
Thompson does.
Yeah.
In the SEA service,
John. You could try it, but I don't know if an official game would be the best place to try. It is pretty good at just shoving out wave and farming, so theoretically, again, it's not too bad. I don't think RSG's that insane, but it's matchup against Ember. Let's theorize a bit. Not too bad. It's a melee hero. You have a range advantage. You can toss your sticky bombs from a mile away. If you do get jumped, I guess you always have the taser to play with, so there is like an aspect of overcommitting onto the Techies mid, but again, that's just out of my bum. Yeah, they will go just for the DK. So you've got the DK Techies again though, Mike. Dragon Tail into Blast Off, Dragon Tail into Sticky Bomb. Not the laning combo that I think we're going to be seeing, but that possibility is always there. The follow through is there from the Techies.
Even against the In Your Dream special of the Terrorblade, that taser is going to be very annoying. And we saw it yesterday, like the Aghanim Scepter Techies. You can put the taser on your ally, which in turn will disarm whoever's around him, rather than whoever's around you. It's kind of ridiculous in some sense. In the right kind of matchups, it's a bit of a niche Aghanim Scepter, but at the same time, it kind of makes sense. It's going to be a very interesting game. I believe Maposhka, in an interview yesterday with us, told us that he believes Techies is actually very strong right now. And mind you, they were testing things with Techies yesterday, but, in a relegation match against Hellraisers, they still managed to make it look really damn good. So, see what RSG think. Clearly, they think it's quite strong as well. Maybe they were watching Team Spirit last night. I think so as well, John. I think the damage output's kind of ridiculous. I think the proximity mines giving you information as to where people are just by the sound cues and the fact that they explode. And you can't even smoke into a team with Techies. Because you just go near a proximity mine, they blow up, and it's like, well, there they are. They're smoked up in that area. It's... in some ways, it's really busted, this hero. Like, stupidly high damage, disarm, silence, And on top of that, I'm going to tell my team exactly where the other team is.
Yeah, I think that's the aspect that really makes it broken. Like, the laning presence is really good as long as you have a stun setup. I think you could theoretically run a tri-lane here for RSG if you wanted to with Mars and look for that first blood first, split the lanes up afterwards. But it's really oppressive. I think just the fact that you can't smoke is really the most busted thing. Just take away that opportunity to try to bounce in, to try to look for that opportunity. And it just goes back to vision game, right? Like the same thing with a Harpy creep making it so hard to make moves. Same thing with Beastmaster, with a Hawks. It's just in the right hands. That kind of information can be very, very valuable. So we'll see how RSG plays it. Again, that was Team Spirit yesterday that we saw, Mike. RSG, they've been looking good. But whether or not they can execute the same way is a different story. I want to go back to that Ags point you mentioned. Like I pointed that out, right? Like it could be really good, like a Inkswell sort of upgrade, but the Ags came out at the end of the game, so we didn't really see its full potential.
Hey.
I'm wondering if that's a rush and NGX go for Underlord on the offlane. I know, like Underlord we've seen some good plays with the teleport, and I think it was Amar again on OG who really made the hero look good. But overall, its laning just feels really awkward. The spells he has just don't feel amazing. Like, it's good, it's annoying, but not amazingly annoying. And I'm keen to see how much Mizu can get done there. If you're running a Underlord Keep for the light combo,
oh my god,
chakra combination's not amazing. RSG go for
what's happening?
Clinks.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's actually quite strong against TB. Like, if you get the farm up, it's actually quite a ridiculous... Like, think about it, John. Gleipnir against TB is never going to feel good. Like, kiting is going to be a real problem.
But why Clinks over Drow? No, it's like, if you wanted a good kitey hero, Drow is probably a lot better with better damage output.
I guess it's harder to catch because you're against Ember, right? So, like, there is... Maybe that's the idea, like, against Underlord Ember. There is still plenty of catch for the Drow. Like, maybe Clinks is just a bit more challenging to catch.
In a way, I am keen to see if MKS will opt for that level 15 talent where you do get the creep ability. I don't think it's amazing. And it's a bit weird, but you could. And I think that would be very interesting. Of course,
summon Skellies, John. Summon more Skellies.
True. That is one way to go about it. Of course, we have to remember that Xiao Bonbon used to play a lot of techies as well. So, respect for him. But again, this is reworked techies, and we haven't seen him play it in a while. I know you're going to ask a tough question. Draft-wise, honestly, it's difficult because you have Underlord Kotl as a combo. Like, chakra combination's not amazing. You can play with a Root and the Illuminate. Could be one way that will make it annoying for Clinks. But I think I'm actually leaning towards RSG. I like their draft. I like the combination with the techies. And a fastly farmed Clinks is scary. Like, that Gleipnir you talked about is one way to handle that TB in the end of the day.
Yeah, and I couldn't help but notice a lot of people in the viewers in the chat seeing the techies pick automatically think it's a 1-to-1. I don't think so. I think this hero is actually quite busted. I'm not going to underestimate NGX.SEA though, because this is a fantastic team, and I hope for a competitive game number 2, but honestly, this techies could be one of the next big things in this new meta. We'll see how they go though. You know, again, this is the TI-10 champs made it work last night, John. The RSG, they're not quite at the TI-10 champ level yet, but you know, they are certainly doing a great job, at least for this series so far. As we do get into it, game number 2. 5-on-5 smoke, and we saw a 5-man fight, or rather 10-man fight, at the level 1 mark, at the 0-minute mark, just last game. As they do meet again in the exact same position, do they want to fight? Xiao Yu almost kind of baiting them in. NGX.SEA, they'll stand their ground. And this time around, it does seem like they're going to back off.
Yeah, they don't force the issue. Level 1, I mean, RSG, and they've got techies. They could always play the blast off or sticky bomb. It's going to be a massive nuisance in the middle. They also have really good single target control. So you don't want to push the envelope too hard here on NGX. They are still going for a bit of a chase, want to secure their 2 bounty runes, but they might only find 1 if the positioning for RSG is on point here.
The tips out already for In Your Dream. Xiao Yu obviously had a very fun time yesterday. Mind games have started. Uh-oh, Xiao Yu, he's asking the real questions, John. He's asking the real questions here. Look at that. I mean, it's very rare you go that far with the track. I love it. I think it's great. Xiao Yu getting into the minds of NGX.SEA straight away.
Yeah, I mean, look, Paul Paulson's a really great player.
Fantastic
Talking
player.
to the guy he's an amazingly well-spoken guy. He has such great insights. A massive loss for NGX. I mean, you can't fault them for making a change, but you can argue that it's not a good change. So time will tell, I suppose. So far, not looking the best, Mike, as we do break into the laning stage. It is way too early. But still, we'll see if they adjust well. It's quite the challenge, and filling in those shoes for Paulson is a tough task there, Mike.
Again, John, I just appreciate a bit of trash talk. It's, again, most teams are friendly towards each other. I'm sure Xiao Yu's on good terms within your dream, but, it's, you gotta get the mind games going. Obviously for RSG, they want this win against NGX.SEA. It's about proving a point before you do go into Div 1 next tour. And as you can see, Xiao Bonbon, how annoying are these sticky bombs just being thrown out constantly onto In Your Dream? Like, what do you do about this? He just throws them from a mile away and you can't really contest it.
And they're very mana efficient as well. 90 damage for 100 mana. Going up ×2 for 15 more mana at level 2. It's a highly efficient spell. Bypasses that high armor, and In Your Dream, just look at that. Every single time. Landed onto him. Drops him that HP. Not much a Weaver can really do about that. And In Your Dream's already forced to eat some shared tangos. It's not a very comfy position for our Terrorblade. And Xiao Yu, he is finding really good farm here. You normally don't feel that great against Terrorblade, especially once Metamorphosis is up. It is up now for In Your Dream, but having this kind of strong start on the Mars is good news overall for RSG.
Well, they're going to try and punish Xiao Yu straight away with this Metamorphosis, that they might have Xiao Bonbon. He'll jump in, but he is going to drop. Boom Boy, able to secure first blood. That'll be a great start here for NGX.SEA. Of course, we should have a look at the other lanes as well while we have a chance here. John, mid lane. I suppose there's not much to talk about here. It's XE Learn on the DK again against Alacrity on another Spirit Hero. Very kind of even trading lane between these two. We've seen this one a million times.
Yep, and just farm. Not much harassment you can do in XE Learn. Not much you can do up against Alacrity either. So down to rune control, yada yada yada. Much more exciting up top, Mike. We've got Roger on that Shadow Shaman, hang around with MKS on the Clinks, and remember the last time we used to see a lot of Clinks was really from Chidori, right? Like Dreammaker, if I recall right. So he did make it work. It was all about that Gleipnir timing that you were talking about. We'll see if MKS can hit that point. Mizu is doing a good job of managing that lane. Not a very comfy time for MKS. The Atrophy Aura is mildly annoying. 5% damage reduction does a lot, but Searing Hours does compensate. So overall, you should still be able to find farm. The issue is you can't be aggressive with your Clinks and Shadow Shaman up against an Underlord. Too durable, and Jokam is too speedy to really punish on the Coddle as well. So you don't have that opportunity to just shackle and barrage here.
Mizu? He's going to be just fine. They don't really have so much damage against the Underlord right now. MKS only really focused on farming anyway. All you want as the Clinks is to rush that Maelstrom and then move from there. That's when your farm really starts to escalate. Back down to the bot lane, man. It's so annoying to see these sticky napalms. Look at the sticky bombs, excuse me, and look at the damage. I think you just mentioned it. I mean, level 2 sticky bomb, it's a very valuable spell when it comes to the amount of damage it does deal. And so spammable as well. 10-second cooldown at level 2. Max level only a 6-second cooldown for 360 damage.
Yep. Very spammy, very mana efficient spell. Scales greatly with levels, and that's why Techies is a very, very nauseating support to play against here, Mike. Giving Xiao Yu all the room to read. He's 24-0. Pretty much uncontested in this lane, it feels like. I mean, he's not stopping In Your Dream from really farming too much. Still up there in CS, but this kind of start again for Mars into that quick blink for Xiao Yu. He loves initiating. He's always on point with his initiation, and that's a scary timing. Once RSG lines that blink up, that should line up with XE Learn's blink, and Havoc breaks loose. We saw that in Game 1 with those two heroes.
Yeah, he might drop here. In Your Dream would love the kill. They'll get it, Boom Boy. He'll be the one to take it, and I'm sure that one felt very good for the side of NGX.SEA. Meanwhile, XE Learn ends up dropping. Alacrity able to pick up a kill onto the DK, and well, there's a rotation from Jokam to help out. So 2 kills across the map and 2 very valuable kills across the map here for NGX.SEA.
And that's massive. Giving the strong start for Alacrity, having that build up on the Ember now. In a matchup that normally is a little bit more static, but just good movement out from Jokam. Getting a great Illuminate to set up the damage. Magic damage is good from Ember. We do see Alacrity going for a 0-2 free build. So emphasizing that Flame Guard, knowing that DK is going to be all about that armor with Dragon's Blood. Just burn through it with magic you have, and get a handle on it before that blink starts to come in as a reality. So NGX finding their footing early on here, getting that build-up they need, having that presence they need. They haven't done too much to really put a dent on NK's either. He is slightly behind, but otherwise all our cores are fairly evenly farmed in terms of the CS right now. And I think for RSG, it's all a matter of just waiting for some levels and waiting for a couple of those blinks. Once you reach that point by around 7-8 minutes in, that's when you start to see more opportunities open up for RSG. Until then, you got to kind of cop it from the activity of NGX.
And your Dream's having a very good time now at the bot lane as well, John. 32 and 12, and that was in stark contrast of earlier on when Xiao Yu was just dominating the lane. Mind you, he is still having a great time on that Mars at the moment, but so is in your Dream. This time Sticky Bomb will not connect on the actual TB. Seems like all the attention's currently focused in the mid lane, where the Power Rune was taken by the Weaver. So you'll see Boom Boy go ahead and take it for himself. Of course, XE Learn, he had such a great time in game number 1. You definitely don't want to allow him to have that same experience in game number 2. And but naturally, the quicker you slow down this DK, the better. So I believe last game they took a 7-minute mid-tier 1 tower. You certainly don't want to have to experience that again if you are NGX.SEA.
Definitely not. You need that objective to hold on. They are getting a bit aggressive top, but Mizu is fairly tanky now. So killing off this Underlord's just becoming harder and harder. Fiend's Gate is ready for a bit of a reset if they need it as well. They've got that opportunity to show around a map.
Now Boom Boy's going to go down. The blast off does end up connecting from Xiao Bon Bon. They won't be able to find In Your Dream. He's fine, still hitting creeps and even buying the raindrops against the amount of damage from these sticky bombs. That's one of the only things you can do against techies right now is just buy raindrops. Just hope for the best. So In Your Dream has to be very careful. Spear will come out. Sticky Bomb won't actually land onto the TB, so this time he'll be just fine. Not taking too much damage. At least for now.
And still in a good position to keep that farm game up as well. Without that standard setup, In Your Dream is slippery enough to walk past. Does have the power treads up, so the move speed does make it a little bit harder to predict. We are seeing NGX take some farm here for Alacrity as well. Is dropping low, but always has the remnants back. So you are building up now on your Ember. That momentum is starting to look up here for NGX and RSG. Again, with the draft they have, you are just waiting for blinks. You're waiting for initiation. You're waiting for levels here. Your laning phase, not as smooth as you'd want, although Roger
could be in danger here. Alacrity doesn't have any chains up though, so he could be the one in danger now as XE Learn is going to be there to back him up. Silence, Arena, everything being dropped. They really want the Ember, and they're going to get him. No problem for RSG. Alacrity just getting a little bit too excited, and he does end up paying for it.
And that's massive. Like we just talked about the Ember getting that quick build-up, all kind of negated from some good movement across the map from RSG, recognizing that they've got to put a dent in that Ember, stop that progression. And sure, you're giving a little bit of free space for In Your Dream. He's at the point where, you know, he's just hard to contest overall. You can't really deal with it terribly now. He can play in the jungle to catch up and farm. They are getting that pit out, though, from Mizu for aggression. Not really going to force the issue. He will at least start to get that push going.
Love me a good Fiend's Gate. I think this is one of the more fun abilities right now in Dota 2. Is Mizu. Not going to last very long, obviously, but he gets into the mid lane, applies a bit of pressure, and again, it does seem like it's all about making sure XE Learn can't just freely push in the mid-tier 1 tower. And they've done a really darn good job of just making sure that they can't kind of link up with the Shaman at level 6 and just make that tier 1 tower drop. And NGX.SEA kind of understanding the issues from game 1 and rectifying them during game 2. Very nice to see.
Just holding off on that push. RSG, because of all that movement onto mid, don't even have the levels up on Roger to threaten with wards yet. It's a little ways off here from that level 6. They are giving some much needed space over to MKS, but they're also allowing, again, that Terrorblade to farm up here. In Your Dream on his special, uncontested in the bot lane. And down the line, this Terrorblade could be an issue. The Gleipnir's still there to handle, but once you have a BKB on the TB, it does feel really nice for the Terrorblade to just stand and fight. I don't think the Flanks is going to be that much of an issue once you have some spell immunity up. on In Your Dream, or even just a Manta to dispel that hold. We'll see whether or not RSG will be able to handle that. Again, different build-ups this time. Xiaoyu going for the Yules to have that setup with his spear, not opting for the blink, wanting that quicker item build-up. Jokam could be danger, but does have the dust.
MKS just going to TP out. Mizu wasn't close enough to go for the Pit of Malice, so not going to be able to cancel that TP off there on the clicks. In Your Dream still farming very well, by the way. John, top of the net worth board here for In Your Dream. Does have the full Dragonlance up now. Keep in mind, for the Clinks, it is going to take a bit longer. Again, until you have the Maelstrom up, you are not going to flash farm. MKS, he was top of the net worth for quite a while during this game number 2, but it does seem like he has dropped off slightly, and we'll need to try and find a way to catch up. So he'll move into the triangles mid lane, chains around. They've got XC Learn, but can they lock him down? Jia Bon Bon will jump in and make it a little bit more difficult to trace down the DK, but it will give up his own life.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Sacrifice they have to make. They don't want to lose Exeler, and they need him to save up for that blink. That does still stall out that mid push. Top did fall, but they did manage to find bot. Boomboy a little bit too hard to catch on that Weaver. Still, the commitment's there from NGX. They really want that mid-tier 1.
They certainly do, and even the Fiend's Gate right behind Mizu gonna sneak in, getting the Pit of Malice off. XC Learn, he's not that tanky right now. He is gonna drop. As it seems like RSG, they're gonna still try and force the fight. The tier 1 should go down anyway, but they're trying to punish as much as humanly possible. So they get Boomboy down. That's about all they're gonna get though. In fact, Alacrity, he'll jump in, but he's all alone. Roger, he was way too quick with the Hex out. Alacrity, he goes for the high risk, high reward play, but he does not end up making it work.
Yeah, that's... I mean, you trade off your mid-tier 1. I think overall NGX is still happy with that pickup.
Oh,
not the best blow.
Do they have detection? No, they do. The sentry's already down. They'll just lock down Mizu. He'll try to get through the Serpent Wards, but tips are out. Roger, he'll let him know about it.
Just great plays, good use of the wards. Again, you'd rather use that in objectives, but you find a nice kill to slow this game down a little bit more once again. And I'm sorry, Mike, I disconnected for a bit. I can't reconnect.
That's alright, John. Roger. He's gonna get chained up. He should go down here easily. Alacrity will clean him up. No problems there for the Ember. It just feels like with the kills that have been happening for NGX.SEA, like losing Alacrity and losing your Underlord Mizu, that you suddenly see the Clinks just shooting up in net worth again. He's got the Maelstrom out, coming with the Mithril Hammer on the Courier right now as we speak, and this is where I start to get a little bit concerned, John. Are you going to be able to keep up with the Clinks farm as the TB?
You should be. I don't think the TB falls behind too badly as long as In Your Dream's not forced to participate in that many engagements, but that's where the issue lies. In Your Dream has shown us today that he is willing to show up as a core and help from the pause 1, but you want to play that greedier game. You want to kind of be the same as MKS here. Stand back, farm up, and just keep getting those items up. Let the rest of the team handle that. They've got a lot of presence now here with Mizu. Full Atos up, so the chain stunts and the Pit of Malice is good to go. There is a funny thing with the Underlord, Mike. I'm not sure if you've seen that, but Firestorm is actually a downgrade when you do pick up the Shard, because the HP burn damage doesn't translate with the increased wave count and the interval reduction. It actually is very awkward. I mean, because of that shorter tick, it's weird. You put Firestorm down, if someone walks out immediately, you do less damage.
Wow.
Because the HP tick didn't update or something like that, but the wave stays on. So the wave burn stays on, but the HP tick damage didn't change. So when the wave debuff disappears, you lose max HP burn somehow. I'm not sure. It's a weird thing, but I saw it in Reddit, and apparently the numbers were wrong. So it's a weird thing. So probably not something users will want. I don't think you'll pick it up anyway. I would love to see the Ags though. Underlord Ags is obnoxious. Like that Pit of Malice around instant, like a global Pit of Malice if you think about it that way, with a slow on top, ensuring that you will at least get a second route off almost every single time, as long as it's not right on the edge. And that is a scary thing to deal with, and could be something Mizu goes for after the BKB, of course. So I'm excited. I mean, Underlord can still have a lot of utility, and the side of NGX has been playing around that Fiend's Gate, that repositioning around the Pit of Malice really well, pushing together, having this big front line. They just have to be careful about overextending. RSG's shown us that if you overstep just a little bit, you are going to be punished by all of that single target hold.
Absolutely. MKS again, bot lane. Boom Boy copying so much damage from one burning barrage arrow. The pings are out. They know the Clinks is down bot. He will move into the triangle at the right time, but they can still try to intercept that dire triangle. It's only going to be JoeCam and Alacrity, though, and that might make things a little bit more challenging. Trying to move in. Roger is going to be there. He'll go for the Hex out, but he'll cop the gank. Just making sure the Clinks does not get caught with his pants down. Roger won't mind dying for that cause. Problem is, they've got to defend the mid lane. Mizu with the Fiend's Grip, or rather the Fiend's Gates, and Alacrity moving in with the TP, but they do not land the chains out. XE learns fine. In fact, they found In Your Dream. In Your Dream's going to try and go for the fight. He has Sunder though. Xiao Yu, he's the one to drop. In fact, they might find XE learn in the end. The spear did not end up landing.
Yeah, it could have been a really big kill if they found the chain stuns onto In Your Dream. Not quite, and that will open up the rush here for NGX. They've got the Metamorphosis for a lot more time here. The damage is looking good. RSG, immediate smoke though. Not willing to give this one for free.
Certainly not. And they go. RSG, how are you going to fight this? I mean, they get a great blast off with the burning barrage. It could be a lot of damage. There goes In Your Dream. There goes Boom Boy. They make it work. Serpent Wants dropped. Roger, he'll take the Roshan himself. Why not? Alacrity though, he's going to try and go for the steal. He will attempt it. They got the Clinks down. Aegis picked up. Mid-Hex Alacrity. He's got it for his team. Oh, XE learn. He's going to jump in now and try to get the Aegis off him, but Roger's gone. Alacrity somehow still alive. Xiao Yu's going to show up. He does get the Yules into the spear, but that's just the Aegis life. Can you get him a second time? He's got no reference available right now, so perhaps they could try. Problem is, XE learns dropping low. He'll go for the Dragon Tail. Xiao Yu will try to control Alacrity. There goes JoeCam. Alacrity, though, he's got the hand up. He's feeling confident right now. Xiao Yu still running. Meanwhile, Mizu, he does get XE learn on Alacrity. He does clean up the Mars. Zhao Bonbon even shows up, but he might just be donating another life. In fact, never mind. Blastoff is there. There's your taser out. There's the mines out. Does he have the damage? Sticky Bomb will connect, but it's still not enough. Zhao Bonbon, can you get yourself out now? It doesn't seem like it. Tips out from JoeCam.
That was such a good counterfight coming through from RSG, but they just didn't have the cleanup. And we saw that risky positioning coming out from MKS, standing by at the back of the Roche Pit, and giving that angle up for Alacrity to find that kill. Not the healthiest hero, that Clinks. Not until the BKB is up, and that's still a ways off. We'll see if that's something MKS considers. Evening out the game here, NGX though. 14-9, less than 1k lead away of NGX. As do manage to work out the Roche Airway. RSG, the combinations are strong. Taser into blast off, you time it right. You have your chain stunts and disarms all on hand. But you need to have the follow through. And again, it was just a bit disconnected from RSG going into the bit, forcing that after they already lost a couple of heroes. If they had the full force there, it would have been a very different story.
Yeah. You saw the effect of the Techie Shard there, John, with the 1.75 second stun. The Roshan pit, that is. Nope, RSG on the back foot right now, just less than 1k net worth lead for NGX.SEA. And you still have some great farm coming out on MKS, but he certainly has slowed down a little bit. These team fights just not going the way that they were expecting, that's for sure. GXC trying to get aggressive, trying to abuse that Rod of Atos on Mizu. Good boy, gonna try and get the vision, but the techies is already gonna be out of there. He will have a look around, but doesn't find anyone for the chains. NGX, I doubt they're trying to set up for an objective here. They don't have Metamorphosis available, but it seems like they're confident enough to move up to this side of the map, and they should be just fine, though. TPs aren't coming in. RSG, they might try to force a fight. 4 heroes coming up. Xiao Yu, he's going to find the Keeper. They'll spear him up into the tree line as Alacrity. We'll try to get Xiao Yu down. There goes your Coddle. Can they take this team fight though? RSG, this undrop low, but they've got Alacrity hexed up in the Serpent Wards, held down by Roger. Alacrity, he's about to drop, but he can still survive a little bit longer as he remnants away. He will survive for now, as Roger's the one to go down. Boom Boy, he will drop on the other side of things. So it's going to be a 2-for-2 trade, but it is in the favor of NGX.SEA, as they might go for a bit more. Chains out now onto Zhao Bon. Bon will mean he goes down to boot. MKS, it felt like he never really got there in time to help the team out. He just takes the creep wave and backs off.
I mean, it's just hard for you to stand and fight here on the Clinks. Again, not until that BKB is up. So much control, so much magic damage to rip right through you. And the Terrorblade is still feeling like a much more contributing hero with a Metamorphosis up. They will get a reset, at the least on NGX's side. This could open up that push. Metamorphosis is still ready to go. The side of RSG could try to force that defense. Arena's still down though for about half a minute, so the time isn't quite enough. The blink will be up for Xiaoyu by the next engage, so that should give them that angling they need to really set up here outside of just the Yules, giving enough reaction time. So got to see bigger arenas out from Xiaoyu, and with stuns to land, I think he's going to need a shard as well, just to ensure that even if the illusions are there, you'll always pin on another hero, or always pin on a hero and get that lockdown. But with that top tier 2 gone, jungle becomes hard for RSG contest. Outpost is going to be taken by the side of NGX if they want to. The jungle is just being cleared out by them, and that cuts off the farm for MKS once more. Like, our Clinks just really needs a lot of these camps.
Certainly does. MKS, he's been caught. Can they lock him down? They have a lot of Atos. They have Pit of Malice. They're going to lock him for a while. Arena will be up, but the Clinks is still not moving. Still rooted up. He's gone. There's just too much control with Mizu, and now they can go after Xiaoyu. Oh, NGX.SEA, they feel very energized right now, John. Xiaoyu, maybe playing the mental games earlier, but it feels like it's only energized the side of NGX.SEA.
Yep, it's kicked them into gear. BKB is up for MKS, but you saw the damage output he had when he used Burning Barrage. It wasn't much. So I'm wondering now if they'll find a way to fix this damage issue they have, especially when Mizu's up front. And that Atrophy Aura just ruins the right-click output of that Clinks. And NGX for their part, find another tier 2. Open up a high ground for themselves. Bot lane is still very stable for RSG. They are getting some good push off, forcing that response out from NGX. But they are starting to lose control of their map. 3k lead for NGX to take over the triangle. You're seeing that build up now on Alacrity. His own BKB looking to finish up, working onto the Ags next. And once he does have that Ags on the Ember, he's going to be more mobile. Even just this BKB, they've been very reliant on locking in Alacrity with the Hex with the Shackles. Roger has to find an angle in first, but he doesn't have a blink to set that up.
Here we go again, another smoke up. RSG, they're going to try and make it work here. They'll move in. Xiaoyu does have the blink available. They'd love to find In Your Dream, but instead they're going to find the Weaver. In fact, never mind, In Your Dream. He shows up. There is a Fiend's Gate in the backside. They're trying to move him for the team fight. Xiaoyu, XE Learn, they've got to get out of there. Alacrity and In Your Dream, they're hitting way too hard. They've got the Dragon Knight locked up again. There goes XE Learn. Oh boy, every team fight RSG goes for just does not seem to work out. The common factor though, John, I feel like MKS needs to get involved here.
He's always late to the party. He was running in at that time, but the party's over before he arrives. It's like, and this Clinks has to be able to join fights, especially with that BKB. He can't just sit back and farm forever. He is keeping up with In Your Dream. It just doesn't feel like the Clinks gets as scary as a Terrorblade as the game scales on. It just doesn't feel that way. Like, if you were a Drow, I could see the argument. You know, you could just farm up, build up, and get to be a very scary force for the TB to deal with, but not the Clinks. And again, just look at the Burning Barrage. It does clear the illusion. Those are illusions to it. It feels slower. It's just not the output that I think we need on this hero if you're on RSG's end. And I just don't know how you itemize for that. Maybe a Daedalus, probably the best way, but it doesn't feel like they have the time to get that built up yet.
Here we go, XE Learn again, mid lane. He's had a very tough game number 2. Just trying to work towards his own BKB. That early Spirit Vessel pickup from Jokams made his life a living hell this game. Just unable to survive any kind of team fight. Currently sitting at 1-5-4. Make matters worse, In Your Dream's going to have the Eye of Skadi coming out very soon, and that's going to make life very hard for the Clinks and the DK, for that matter. NGX.SEA looking for another target. They might find Xiao Yu mid lane. He's not under vision yet. He may show very, very soon. Here's Xiao Yu. He's going to back off, but pings are out. They saw him. They know where he is, and here comes the chase. Alacrity just wants the chains. Won't be able to land it quite yet as Xiao Yu does blink away. Alacrity, though, does see Roger to boot. Look after the Shaman instead. They'll pop the BKB and even the Fiend's Gate. Rod of Atos, they're going to find the Mars. That's the target they wanted all along as Alacrity, Boom Boy. They all move in. They should have the chains out. They've got the Mars locked down. No problem. Xiao Yu still going to try and juke them out, but it's not going to be enough. Alacrity on a godlike spree. And he's just 700 gold away from the Aghanim Scepter now, John. Very scary times for RSG.
Yeah, that mobility on the Ember is just going to be a massive issue. And that BKB just making it nearly impossible for RSG to hold them down. They've got to be preemptive with that jump in. They've got to be the aggressors here on RSG's end, but as you mentioned, every single time they've been looking for aggression themselves, it doesn't pan out, and for some reason, MKS is just not there. He is still farming up. He's trying to work onto his own Skadi. That will give him some more stats to play with every single time he has Death Pact on. He does have a ton of HP. We need to see that in action. Like, that's the difference now. In Your Dreams, in these fights, he does contribute in a big way. Roshan, half a minute away. If NGX finds another good fight around this area, could lead to another very big Rosh take for them.
They are waiting. In Your Dream just standing in the pit right now, waiting for that Roshan to spawn up, but it is still 25 seconds away. MKS. Mizu gonna spot him out. Another Rod of Atos, but this time Spear is there from Xiao Yu in time, and they just blow up Mizu. Still, great reflection out. In Your Dream pretty much catches the whole team, and look at the damage output. Alacrity, he'll make the jump in again. Roger's already gone. They're on to Xiao Yu now. MKS, he's trying to fight, but there's just no chance. There's just no damage. Xiao Bonbon, he'll run towards the north and just try to get himself out, but it's not gonna matter. He's gone. Alacrity, another great kill on the Ember, but they're going to try and punish now. Can they do it? Never mind. Time-lapse is there from Boom Boy. He saves the day. Roger, he'll hold down Alacrity, but now the Sunder. They won't let the Ember die. MKS force the TP out. Can they get the chains? Yes, they can. Alacrity, he just won't stop. He just won't stop this guy. As they do at least get In Your Dream, but Exilern's gone. Xiao Bonbon, he's the one left behind for his team. But he's just a techies. It's getting worse and worse, John. RSG, no matter how hard they try, they just don't seem to be able to get a team fight to go their way. They're just lacking so many components. Like, there's no damage. That they can set up all they want, but they just have no damage. Oh, Xiao Yu. He's been punished very hard this game, John. They are not taking him lightly in game 2. Not whatsoever. Tips out In Your Dream. He was waiting a long time for that.
Yeah, and I didn't realize, I think my microphone disconnected for a moment there. I did fix it up, Mike. RSG, I mean, for me, it goes back to this Clinks thing. It's not a hero I think matches up against Terrorblade all too well. If you do play that magic build with a Maelstrom to counteract, you need to play faster than Exilern.
Yeah, Exilern trying his best to at least get the Weaver kill, and does do so, but that costs him his BKB charge. NGX.SEA, they're not going to stick around anyway. They are going to back off. In Your Dreams respawning anyway. Roshan's up. It might be about that time to go secure Roshan, and then try to go high ground right after. And that's exactly where they'll head. NGX.SEA. Second Roshan of the game, so the free shards is up. Problem is, nobody's actually going to scout it out.
They've got control in the area. NGX don't dip into the pit, but they should know it's probably up at this point. RSG, all back up. They've got their blink up on Roger. So what we talk about with jumping the Ember first is a possibility now with the Shadow Shaman build.
Oh, the cliff. Exilern, he blinks right onto the cliff. He's just a sitting duck now. They do get a nice spear though. Alacrity dropping, not dead yet.
What?
BKB up. Alacrity still running somehow. No, he will die. Finally. It would have been kind of ridiculous had he gotten away from that. This time he will go down. That's going to be a hell of a lot of gold to go the way of the Clinks. In fact, it gives him enough to finish off the Eye of Skadi now. But it's all about Roshan at the moment. Mizu, speed up. Not going to get stunned up though. Rod of Atos, or rather Pit of Malice, is there. Into the arena. Mizu still trying to go, and there goes In Your Dream. Metamorphosis pop. Fiends rip out. Mizu, he just teleports his way out of there. With the Fiends get, he is fine. Xiao Yu, he's the one to drop. Xiao Bonbon, he'll be up next. No escaping for him as the attack just follows him down. And that'll be Roshan opened up now.
They're ready to go. Get that reset on Mizu to come back in. They do not have Metamorphosis, but not going to be a massive issue here for the side of NGX. They still have some % damage here with a Firestorm to play with anyway. RSG not willing to give this up for free. Skadi being revealed by MKS, but can he find the angle to play here?
Trying. Roger, he'll drop the Serpent Wards. We've seen this one before. Rod of Atos, again, holding down the Shaman. It's only going to help speed up the Roshan here for NGX.SEA, but XE learn, and MKS, they're sneaking in. Roshan, Aegis, it's taken by MKS this time. The Serpent Wards getting it done, but the Root rather, in the Pit of Malice, holding down MKS. He will lose the Aegis immediately. They don't mind. They're happy to lock down MKS a second time and take him out. Aegis or not, it doesn't matter, as Xiao Yu cops another tip from In Your Dream. Oh, he's feeling good now, John. He knows he's got this one in the bag. Meanwhile, in the dire base, Xiao Yu, speaking of the devil, he's been caught out. Alacrity putting the hands up. Great dodge on the stun. Remnants forward. Alacrity just playing around with his food now. Onto the techies. They'll get Xiao Bonbon down. Onto the tier 4 towers they go. How dare you all chat In Your Dream like that, Xiao Yu? He has been punished thoroughly by NGX.SEA.
Oh yeah, Kami-sama's got the revenge back. GG's called. RSG look good in game 1. NGX again kicking into gear by game 2. Finding a way.
Radiant victory.
Uh-oh. MK, he's not happy. MKS is not happy.
Alright, so let's go back here a bit. NGX, they get that In Your Dream special. They managed to secure that lane for In Your Dream. It was a bit tough. We were seeing Xiao Bonbon apply a lot of pressure with the sticky bombs. It was kind of hard to lane in there, but eventually they got the space going. RSG, key things that happened here, Mike. Blink timings were a lot more delayed for Exalearn and for Xiao Yu. We did not see that quick initiation that they had in game 1 come around this time. And MKS was much more inactive on that Blink. Even if he showed up, Burning Barrage damage wasn't great, and this is why I don't think the Clinks is just in a great spot right now. You would have much rather have the Drow with the risk of Ember jumping you, and with a BKB rush build, because you actually would have had more damage. Like what was the output of that Burning Barrage? He had Aegis, Burning Barrage down. He barely got any damage off on those heroes.
No, he certainly didn't.
Clinks is a strange one. I feel like because of his talent change, I feel like that Death Pack HP is a bait. You have to go for the creep ability. Eat an Alpha Wolf, so you have like a free crit stick. I'm serious.
No,
I don't think that HP is amazing. Like you do have a serious damage issue with this hero, compounded by the fact you were up against Underlord, Atrophy Aura just ruined you. And again, props to NGX.SEA. Rocky first game, excellent comeback in game 2, getting their second draw of the day and just kind of staying even here as we kick off the group stage, Mike.
Yeah, and RSG finding out the hard way that Div 1 is not so much like Div 2, and well, they are already going to have their first tied series here in Pro Series. As we are going to head to a 20-minute break, and of course, right after that break, we're going to have the pleasure of seeing RSG once again, this time against Neon Esports, and we'll see how that one works out. For now, though, it is MLPDotA and johnxfire, and it's been a pleasure. We'll see you all again in about 20 minutes.